Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. If you're new here, consider subscribing. It really helps keep these stories coming. And while you're here, let me know in the comments where you're listening from. Now, sit back, relax, and let's get into the story. I always thought emergency alerts were background noise, something you ignore unless the sky itself is falling. Tonight, the sky isn't falling, but everything beneath it is coming apart. My phone exploded with a shrill tone, the kind that slices straight through thought. The screen glowed crimson. Civil danger warning. Stay inside, do not answer the door, shelter in place. At first, I laughed. The wording felt like a prank pulled from a late-night radio show, too dramatic, too cinematic. But then the power cut. Across the street, porch lights blinked out like dying candles, one by one. The quiet that followed was heavier than any thunder. I locked the deadbolt, dragged the couch against the door, and killed every light. My apartment is on the second floor, looking down over Maple Lane. That height always felt like a small safety net. Far enough from the street to breathe easy, close enough to watch the world go by. Tonight, the world was empty. Movement tugged at the corner of my eye. A figure stumbling under the flicker of a failing street lamp. At first, I thought, drunk, maybe. Maple gets its share of late-night wanderers. But the way the figure moved, no rhythm to the steps, no sense of balance, like nerves had been rewired wrong. I cracked the window just enough to listen. Wind. A distant siren, and then a sound that froze my pulse. Teeth gnashing on bone, as if someone was tearing through a rotisserie chicken with nothing but jaws. I tasted iron in the back of my throat even though it was only in my mind. A car roared up the street, headlights sweeping across front yards. The driver, a guy in a mechanic's jumpsuit, leaned on the horn shouting out the window for his wife. "Stephanie, the shelter's at the high school. We gotta move." His voice cracked on the last syllable. He didn't see the dark silhouettes closing in from both sidewalks. They swarmed the sedan, palms slamming the metal, fingers clawing for purchase. The driver punched the gas. Tires squealed, bodies staggered, but three monsters clung to the roof like nightmare gargoyles. One punched through the windshield with raw fists. The sedan jackknifed into a fire hydrant. Steam hissed skyward. The attack was silent except for the metal screams of the car frame. I backed away from the window before the driver's final yell cut short. The couch pressed into my knees. Breath shallow, every wall felt too thin. I tried the radio, nothing but static. My phone's data was dead, but the emergency banner remained pinned on screen, a digital omen that refused to swipe away. That's when I heard it. Think, 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 knuckles rapping on the front door downstairs. Measured. Almost polite. I held still. The hallway light under my door showed the shadow of someone on the landing. "Please," a voice whispered. "I know you're in there. They're coming. Let me in." Everything in me wanted to swing open that door. Years of neighborly reflex screamed to help, but the alert echoed in my head, "Do not answer the door." "Back away," I said, forcing my voice level. "Find another place. I'm sorry." The reply cut me. "They took my son." Then footsteps, fading down the stairs. I shook until my joints ached. I no longer trusted my own sympathy. Any flicker of kindness could kill me. Glass shattered in the apartment 2 doors over. Mrs. Ramirez's place. A thud, a whale song wail, then silence. I pressed my ear to the wall and heard wet dragging and the clack of teeth on tile. I boxed my emotions, sealed them tight. Fear is gasoline for bad decisions. The hallway filled with footsteps again, too many, too synchronized. They stopped outside my unit. Sniffing. Soft tapping on wood as if nails tested for flaws. I held my breath so long my lungs flamed. The handle twitched but didn't turn. They moved on. For now. I gathered supplies, a backpack with bottled water, 2 energy bars, a flashlight, duct tape, and a claw hammer. It felt pitiful, but weight equals silence, and silence equals survival. Then the city's distant sirens quit. No ambulance, no police, no fire. Just wind and the occasional groan drifting through broken windows. Midnight approaches, and the apartment feels like a coffin propped upright. I wedge the dresser against the bedroom door and crawl into the closet, clutching the hammer. My phone battery is at 42%. I start typing these notes. Proof of thought. Proof I'm still me. Outside, Maple Lane has become a hunting ground. Inside, I sit, frozen, praying the next knock never comes. The closet walls feel closer by the minute. My phone buzzes, another alert, this one shorter, colder. Infected show heightened response to sound. Maintain absolute quiet. No sir or ma'am, no friendly sign-off. Just the command. A low drone rises outside like a stadium full of voices humming one long note. It's the sound of restless hunger. I power the phone screen down to a pinprick of light and keep typing, thumbs barely tapping. A series of metallic clanks echoes from the parking lot. Shopping carts slammed together. Someone's making a barrier. Brave or reckless, I can't tell. Through the blinds, I glimpse 3 figures pushing the carts into a loose circle around a pickup truck. One wears a postal uniform, another a bike helmet, the third a bathrobe flapping in the breeze. The helmeted one calls in a tight whisper, "Load the generator." They're setting up a safe zone, right there in the open. The plan might have worked yesterday, not tonight. Movement in the tree line. Dozens, no, hundreds of shapes emerge. Moonlight turns their skin to wet plaster, their eyes to dark marbles. The bathrobe figure freezes. The postal worker drops a gas can. The can hits asphalt. Clang. The hum outside snaps into a frenzy. The horde charges. I shut the blinds before the scene finishes, but the screams crawl through every crack in the walls. Then only the generator's pull cord clatters, yanked again and again by a hand that will never start it. My building creaks. They're inside the complex now, working door to door. I count muffled bangs. 4 on the floor below, 2 across the hall, 1 right next door, Mr. Hayes' place. He's an insomniac, always up late gaming, headset on. I picture him pausing a match, yanking off the headset, confused at the sudden knocking. The bang that follows is dull and final. The game's over for him. I find an old roll of painter's tape in the closet and cover the phone's rear flash and speaker holes. Every decibel matters. I text my sister, "Are you safe?" The message spins, unsent. Towers must be down or jammed with desperate calls. I scroll my camera roll, deleting anything with sound or autoplay risk. Strange what you cling to when the world shrinks to one rule. Be silent. A thud on my balcony door. My spine locks. Another thud, then glass flexing under weight. Second floor height no longer guarantees anything. I crawl, slow as a glacier, to the bedroom. Moonlight silhouettes a shape pressed to the sliding door. Hair matted, neck bent at an angle no living person could hold. It paws the glass, smearing something dark. A chunk of metal sticks from its forearm, part of a mailbox flag. The wound doesn't slow it. The latch holds. For now. Water. My throat feels like sandpaper, but the kitchen sink might as well be a drum set. I sip from a bottle instead, timing each swallow with distant thunder, nature's metronome masking me. From downstairs comes a new noise, not the broken, syncopated shuffle of the infected, but methodical footfalls, boots, someone living. A beam of light sweeps under my door, a soft voice follows. "Search team, if you're unhurt, signal once." No pounding, no pleading, just protocol. Military, local police, hard to know. My mind races. The alert said, "Don't answer the door," but that was before power died, before the streets turned to quicksand. Could this be rescue or bait? The light fades when I stay silent. Boots move on. Relief? Regret? I don't know anymore. The balcony glass, spiderwebs, crack, crack. I brace the frame with the chair, wedge a broom handle against the slider. The figure snarls without sound. Mouth open, cords visible, no breath to push air, only the scrape of enamel on glass. A second shape clambers over the railing, then a third. I retreat to the hallway, hammer in hand, pulse detonating in my ears. Wood splinters as they hammer their bodies against the frame. One pane gives, a pale arm snakes in, grasping. Every instinct screams, "Run!" But there's nowhere to run. I flip the breaker at the panel. Less chance of loose sparks or humming wires. Darkness folds over me, thick and total. The balcony door finally crashes inward. Glass sprinkles the carpet like icy sand. Heavy steps shuffle inside. Sniffs, short, rapid, predatory. I crouch behind the bathroom door, heart pounding so hard I fear it drums through the walls. The hammer's head feels absurdly light for what I might need to do. Footsteps approach, stop inches from the bathroom. Fingernails rake wood. The knob jiggles. Then, commotion in the hall, snarls, scuffles. A new scent draws them away. Something fresher. I hear them leave. Silence returns, fragile as a soap bubble. I exhale a breath I didn't know I held, every muscle trembling. Survived another hour. I need a new plan. Dawn is 4 hours off, but sunrise won't kill the infected, only reveal them. My supplies won't last a siege, and this apartment is breached. I reopen the closet, drag out my old hiking pack. Inside, compact stove, thermal blanket, headlamp with red filter, and, lucky break, unused earplugs. The stove's fuel canister's nearly full. Goal: reach the rooftop before daylight. The maintenance ladder in the stairwell leads to a hatch seldom locked. From the roof I can watch patterns, maybe chart a safe path at first light, or signal any helicopter that might still be flying. But the stairwell is infested. I heard them earlier. I'll need a diversion. I rig a simple timer. Phone's alarm set to max volume in 5 minutes. Tucked in a shoebox, string taped to the balcony railing. I'll lower it on a cord to dangle by the courtyard. Noise draws the horde. Down, not up. If this works, I'll have one shot at the stairs. Shoebox hangs, swaying like bait. I retreat to the door, pack on shoulders, hammer looped through belt. 3 minutes. The infected below shuffle, oblivious. I crack the door, listen. No breathers in the hall. 2 minutes. Sweat drips from my chin. The hallway smells of dust and something coppery. 1 minute. The world narrows to beats. Thump, thump, thump in my chest. Alarm shrieks. The courtyard erupts with motion. Figures surge toward the sound. Perfect. I move. Boots soft, steps counted. I glide down the hall to the stairwell. The metal door hangs open. Someone forced it earlier, dark inside but empty of growls. Down one flight, turn, then up the maintenance ladder. My arms burn, backpack swaying. Halfway, the shoebox alarm cuts off. Battery pulled or phone smashed. The courtyard roar shifts, confusion, then anger. I climb faster. Hatch above, I push, it sticks. Paint sealed by years of sun. Below, stairwell door bangs open. Footsteps pour inside, drawn by my scent or the faint creak of metal. I shoulder the hatch hard, once, twice, third time, pop. Cold air floods in. I scramble onto the roof, haul the hatch shut, slide the locking bar. Fists slam the metal below, vibrations shaking my boots. But the bar holds. I'm on the roof, alive. For now. The city stretches under moonlight, an ocean of dark rooftops and wandering silhouettes. Siren lights spin on deserted streets where cruisers idled until batteries died. Smoke pillars rise from distant block fires. I find a corner sheltered from the wind and hunker down, blanket around shoulders. The infected below keep pounding, but the roof feels like another planet. I allow myself one sip of water, one slow breath of victory. I wind knifes across the rooftop, chasing off the night's clammy heat. Below, fists still batter the hatch, but farther away now, most of the horde drifted back to Maple Lane once the shoebox alarm went silent. I trade fear for focus, scan, note, plan. The roof offers a jagged map of escape routes. 3 neighboring buildings touch mine by rickety catwalks put up for HVAC crews. Beyond that, power-line forests and alleys slick with broken glass stand between me and the high school shelter the mechanics shouted about earlier. If the shelter still exists, it's 6 blocks west. Sunrise is 2 hours off. I need daylight for that run. I crawl to the parapet and peer down. Parking lot carnage glittering with shards and oil slicks. Only 3 infected linger, gnawing whatever's left of the generator team. Their silhouettes jerk like marionettes on frayed strings. Good. Small numbers. Predictable paths. I pull the earplugs from my pack and roll them between thumb and finger. Not for me, for them. If the infected track sound, maybe they ignore what they can't hear. Worth testing. Experiment time. I dig a quarter from my pocket, toss it high. It clinks off a vent pipe, lands near the hatch. Instantly, the 3 below snap alert, heads cocked like radar dishes. They drift toward the noise, leaving the lot clear. Conclusion: sound draws, silence saves. Hunger gnaws. I unwrap an energy bar, chewing slow, counting each bite. 1 bar left, ration it, or I'll be running on fumes by noon. Water. 2 bottles remain. I flip through the notebook app, recording details before sleep steals them. Auto. Counted infected on ground. Approximately 50 earlier, now approximately 30 in view. Majority cluster at East End. Convenience store lights still flickering. Western route. Fewer shapes, but line of sight shelter blocked by smoke from car fires. A distant thump, rotor blades. I jerk upright. South-southwest, a helicopter wobbles above apartments, spotlight sweeping. It's low, erratic, maybe damaged. I flick my headlamp to red, flash an SOS. 3 short, 3 long, 3 short. The chopper sways, light pausing on my roof. My heart spikes, but a spiral of infected surges into the street, arms raised like warped worshippers. The pilot banks away, engine coughing. Seconds later, a bloom of fire rises beyond the tree line. The rotor noise dies with a metallic shriek. Hope plummets with it. I'm shaking. Not from cold, but from the brutal tease of rescue. Yet the flash bought me intel. The infected reacted to light almost as rabidly as sound. Another weakness I can exploit. Pre-dawn gray lifts the horizon. Time to move. I cinch the pack, grip the claw hammer, and step onto the first catwalk. Metal groans. I freeze. After a breath, the noise fades. No response below. Inch forward, heel to toe, weight centered. Mid-span, a cable snaps with a whip crack. The walkway drops a foot, slamming my ribs into the railing. A gasp escapes before I can choke it down. Instant chorus from the street. Guttural howls, feet pounding pavement. Shapes flood from alleys, converging under the catwalk like iron filings to a magnet. No choice, I sprint. The remaining bolts shriek but hold as I leap to the next roof. Knees jar, lungs burn. Behind me, infected scale drain pipes, fingers wedging into brick seams. They're climbing. Slow but relentless. 2 roofs left. I vault an AC unit, skid across grit, and shoulder through a wooden access door into Building C's stairwell. Darkness swallows me. Stale air reeks of mold and something worse, but the stairwell is clear. Residents either fled hours ago or never had the chance. I latch the door, wedge a mop handle through the pull bar. Poundings begin almost at once, but would buy seconds. Down 1 flight, garbage strewn, mail scattered. Apartment 3. B's door hangs open, hinges bent. Inside, a toppled bookcase and a trail of crimson leading to the kitchen. I grab what I can without stopping. A half-full water jug, a roll of duct tape, and, luckiest find, an emergency flare gun with 2 shells. Infected thump the door above, echoing through the stairwell like war drums. Time to vanish. Ground floor lobby windows are shattered, but first light pushes the darkest corners back. Outside, the horde masses on the east side, chasing rooftop echoes. West entrance looks thinly patrolled. I tape 1 flare shell to the extension cord of a vacuum cleaner, rigging a crude slingshot. Aim, alley dumpster opposite direction. I fire. The flare arcs, hissing, then explodes in a shower of sparks and smoke. Every infected head swivels. They stampede toward the blaze. I slip out the west door, hugging shadows, sneaker soles whispering over concrete. At last, I'm on Birch Street, 3 blocks from the school. The rising sun paints the sky peach, but safety is still a rumor carried on ash-tainted wind. I duck behind a parked van, lungs drawing in the scent of gasoline and morning dew. Ahead, the high school clock tower peaks above rooftops, its hands frozen at 9:03, the moment the first alert hit. Between me and that tower lie unknown streets, unknown survivors, and every mistake I haven't made yet. I wipe sweat from my eyes, tighten my grip on the hammer, and start walking. The first house on Birch looks untouched. Curtains drawn, porch swing still swaying from a night breeze. I skirt the yard, avoiding creaking boards and wind chimes. Every sound is a flare in the dark, and flares bring teeth. Halfway down the block, a toppled power pole blocks the street, lines sparking in lazy arcs. 3 infected wander near the hiss of electricity, swatting at phantom flies. I crouch behind a mailbox, time my breaths, then slip between hedges into the backyards. Backyard obstacles. Patio furniture, kiddie pools, a trampoline sagging with leaves. I vault the trampoline, but misjudge the landing. Spring groans sharp. 1 biter snaps its head my way, empty eyes locking on motion. It sprints. I dive through an open shed door, slam it, and brace. The creature slams back, thin wood splintering. Hammer ready, I wait for the final crack. When it bursts in, I swing. The claw sinks into temple with a rotten crunch. Silence returns, but the quiet feels heavier. First time I've had to put one down up close. My hands won't stop shaking. I wipe the hammer on a tarp, then rummage shelves. Weed killer, paint thinner, road flares. An idea sparks. I tape 2 flares around a jug of thinner, twist the caps half open. Homemade distraction bomb. 2 blocks left to the school. I creep along fence lines until a playground appears. Merry-go-round, slide, seesaws all washed in dawn light. The infected here are scattered but alert, sniffing the breeze like wolves. 10, maybe 12. I lob the flare jug into a cul-de-sac, strike a firing pin with my hammer. Whoomp! Fireball blooms, glass raining. The playground pack sprints toward the blaze, shrieking. Path is clear. The high school rises ahead. Brick fortress, windows barred with plywood, stadium lights still flickering on backup power. A banner spray-painted across the entrance reads, Safe Zone Checkpoint Alpha. Relief floods me. I jog to the gate. Sandbags, chain link, and a lone guard in firefighter gear survey the street from a pickup bed platform. He levels a pump action when he spots me. "Stop there. Hands up, show forearms." I raise my sleeves, no bites, just grime. "I'm clean," I whisper. He gestures quickly. Inside the perimeter, 30-odd survivors huddle under tents. Parents clutching kids, an elderly couple wrapped in quilts, and a trio of EMTs triaging wounds. A generator hums near the gym, powering floodlights and a single charging station. A woman in a school admin badge, Ms. Howard, briskly checks me for injuries, then hands over a wristband marked Uninfected 658. Protocol feels good, almost normal. I down lukewarm coffee from the canteen, nectar of the gods. Miss Howard briefs newcomers. Evac buses due at 9 o'clock, destination, regional airport. Radio contact lost with downtown shelter. Any breach triggers immediate relocation to roof fallback. My rooftop run suddenly feels like practice for the next one. I spot a familiar face near the barricade. Helmet guy from the failed generator barricade, arm in sling, alive. We exchange weary nods. Loss hangs between us, but so does stubborn will. Anxious energy crackles through the camp. Some people pace, others pray. I clean my hammer, wrap the handle in athletic tape a coach hands me. Tools matter. Growls rise beyond the west fence. First scouts of a migrating horde. Spotters ring a cowbell 3 times, the agreed warning. Everyone moves to stations. Push barricades, ready Molotovs. I join the line, heart steady. We might hold, we might break, but at least we stand together now, and whatever happens, I will not answer the door. The first infected slammed the west fence like a living battering ram. Chain link bows, sandbags slide. We shove back with 2x4s, spears made from rebars, anything with reach. Their fingers hook the mesh, nails snapping off yet still clawing. Behind them, dozens more, packed shoulder to shoulder, driven by the noise of their own frenzy. "Hold!" Miss Howard yells, whistle between teeth. A volley of flares arcs overhead, bursting into harsh daylight. The horde shrieks and recoils, shielding rotten eyes. It buys us seconds, we use them. I hammer a loose post deeper, helmet guy ties fresh wire loops. EMTs haul the wounded back. The crowd regroups, learning, or simply following pressure. They split, probing for weak spots. One cluster heads toward the gym doors. Bad. If they breach inside, the whole camp's boxed in. I sprint after the cluster, 3 volunteers on my heels. We topple a vending machine to block the doors, then light 2 Molotovs. Glass sails, ignites the asphalt in a roaring curtain. Heat slaps our faces. So does the stench of searing flesh. The infected recoil but don't scream, no lungs for it. They just burn until they drop. A horn blares. Old school bus cresting Maple. Painted white. Welded grates over windows. Airport shuttle scrawled in neon spray. Our ticket out. It lurches to a stop outside the south gate, driver waving a gloved hand. "Load in 5s, keep weight even," Miss Howard directs. Panic ripples, but order holds. Wristbands checked, kids first, elderly next. I help sling packs onto the roof rack, sweat stinging my eyes. West fence groans again, posts bending. Fire has thinned one flank, but new bodies shove forward. A crack like a rifle shot, corner post snaps. The fence sags inward, breaking our line. "Back up," I yell. We retreat to secondary barricades, rolling bookcases chained end to end. Infected pour through the gap, feet crunching gravel. Helmet guy tosses me a crowbar. Side by side, we jab and swing. Metal meets skull, dull thuds rattling bones. It's desperate, ugly, but we slow them enough for the last civilians to board. My turn. Miss Howard signals. We fall back, climb the bus steps 2 at a time. She's last, slamming the door as claws rake the glass. The driver guns it, tires spin, then grip, wrenching us onto birch. We barrel through debris, zombies ping-ponging off the grill. Inside, silence. No cheers, no relief, just shell-shocked breaths. I drop into a seat, hammer across my knees slick with dark smears. City outskirts blur past. Abandoned cars, toppled billboards, a field where emergency tents lie shredded. The driver keeps to back roads, avoiding main arteries choked with stalled traffic and wandering packs. Radio hiss, then a voice. Tower to Shuttle Alpha, status? The driver answers. Code phrases trading locations. Good news, runway still controlled, evac bird scheduled wheels up at 10 o'clock. Bad news, perimeter breached on east side. We'll need to thread the needle. A barricade of farm trucks blocks County Road 12. Last straight shot to the airport. Infected cluster like ants around honey. No alternate paved route. The driver eyes the soybean field beside us. Hang on. He cranks the wheel, bus thumps off road, stalks, whipping the undercarriage. Riders grip seatbacks, knuckles white. Halfway through the field, the bus lurches, front tire blown by unseen debris. We skid to a halt, nose buried in dirt, engine sputters, dies. A collective groan. Helmet guy peers out. Movement, southeast. A ribbon of infected cutting through green, converging. Miss Howard stands. We hoof it. 1 mile to perimeter fence. Stay tight, stay quiet. She shoulders a fire axe, opens the emergency exit. Morning sun blazes overhead as we pour into rows of soy. Leaves brush faces, cloak us waist high. We move quick but hushed, swallows darting above as if guiding the way. Behind, guttural snarls grow louder. A child trips. I scoop him up, heart hammering. 30 yards ahead, the airport fence gleams. A chain link topped with razor wire and, thankfully, a gate splayed open by earlier evac teams. We dash through, guards in tactical gear waving us forward. They slam the gate, padlock rattling. Infected, slam it a second later, fingers threading wire. Too late. Barrier holds. We're inside. The runway is chaos. Lines of evacuees funneling toward a single gray transport plane. Props idling. Ground crew bark orders, trying to match bodies to manifest. Our group merges with the stream. A medic checks my wristband, scribbles "cleared" on my forearm. I catch Miss Howard's eye. She nods, half smile breaking exhaustion. Boarding ramp groans as we file into the cargo bay, strapping into net seats. Engines wind up, prop wash rattling metal walls. A guard seals the hatch. Takeoff roll begins. Tarmac racing beneath. A scream from the rear hatch. One stowaway, blood-masked, eyes vacant, surged from a supply crate, teeth bared. 2 soldiers tackle him, but he bites one before they pin him with rifle stocks. Silence shatters into panic. Protocol is clear. Bitten equals removed. The wounded soldier locks eyes with his buddy, nods once. Without a word, he unfastens his harness, staggers to the hatch lever. Before anyone can protest, he yanks it. Wind roars, hatch gapes, both men tumble into blinding daylight. Hatch slams shut, engines never falter. Cabin steadies. We're airborne, runway shrinking to ant lines. Some sob, some pray. I just stare at the empty seat the soldier left, mind echoing with his calm resignation. Pilot's voice crackles overhead. We'll reach safe airspace in 20 minutes. Sit tight. Safe, a word I barely recognize. I rest my head against the cold hull, gripping the hammer, my one constant. Outside, clouds rise like towering walls, and I wonder what waits beyond them. The transport climbs above the patchwork of fields, rivers, and shattered highways. From up here, the earth looks peaceful, like a photograph taken before chaos hit print. Inside, the cargo bay hums with dull engine vibration and the low, shell-shocked murmurs of survivors. No one meets anyone's eyes for long. We're afraid to see the cost written there. I count heads, 27 of us, not including the crew. We left Maple Lane with 34. 7 stories cut short between school gate and runway. I picture each face, force myself to remember. If someone doesn't, the loss evaporates, and that feels like the last cruelty. A medic in green scrubs paces the aisle, handing out tiny paper cups of electrolyte mix. When he reaches me, I accept, sip, not thanks. My hammer rests across my knees, wiped clean but forever stained in memory. The medic eyes it and offers a faint thumbs up. Tools matter. The pilot comes over the intercom again, voice steady but tight. We're diverting north to Fort Bryer. Main evac hub at the regional airport went dark an hour ago. No radio, no flares. Fort Bryer still reports clear. ETA 13 minutes. Brace for a steep descent. We're keeping altitude low to avoid radar confusion. Translation: they don't know who's controlling which towers anymore, and anything airborne could be mistaken for a threat. We're threading the needle between panic and overreaction. Clouds, thin, revealing a river glittering below. Smoke pillars rise on the western horizon. Towns we'll never name, burning away evidence of failure. Beside me, Miss Howard clutches a spiral notebook. She's listed every student she shepherded to safety, every parent reunited, every casualty. She catches me glancing, gives a tired shrug. Roll call for a world that still cares, she whispers. Turbulence jolts us. Seat nets creak, someone gasps, the ramp latch chatters. Just metal settling, but nerves interpret monsters. I tighten harness straps, breathing steady, counting 5 in, 5 out. A child across the bay asks, "Are we going to heaven?" His mother answers, "Not today, sweetie. Today we land someplace safer." Her voice remains gentle, but her grip on him says, "Never again." The plane banks hard. A slit window shows forests giving way to open fields dotted with concrete bunkers. Fort Bryer. The base perimeter gleams with triple wire and floodlights even in daylight. Ant-crawling convoys navigate interior roads. Discipline still lives here. Landing gear thumps. The cargo bay shakes like dice in a cup as wheels kiss runway. Brakes roar, engines reverse thrust, and momentum shoves harness bars into ribs. Then, stillness. We made it. Ramp lowers, sunlight streams in. Soldiers and biofilter masks wave us down to a decontam line. My feet hit solid ground that doesn't lurch or burn or echo with undead howls. A dizzying luxury. We file through misting arches that smell of bleach and citrus. Medics scan wrists, take temps, swab cheeks. My results flash green, clear. They clip a new tag to my collar. Fort Bryer Temp ID 2749. I become a number in a system trying desperately to stay alphabetical in a world gone random. A briefing sergeant gathers us near a sand-filled barrier. "Welcome to Bryer," she begins. "You'll get hot food, cots, and news, good and bad. Follow the orange line to intake. Keep tags visible. If you've got specialized skills, medical, mechanical, comms, step left after chow." Questions? No one speaks. We're busy translating We're Alive into all dialects of relief. Intake tent smells of coffee and diesel. I trade my hammer for a claimant ticket. It'll be stored, logged. The attendant raises an eyebrow at the taped handle. "You swing this often?" I answer, "When talking fails." She records resourceful under skill set. During medical check, I list minor injuries, skip the nightmares. They note vitals, patch scrapes, Hand me a meal tray heavy with stew and real bread. Steam fogs my glasses. I almost cry. I sit with Miss Howard and Helmet Guy, whose name is Jonah. We eat slowly, letting warmth chase shock from bones. Around us, other tables share similar silent feasts, punctuated by soft clinks of spoons and the occasional shaky laugh. Survival's first course. Calories. Second, connection. Jonah breaks the hush. We should record what we saw, their triggers, patterns, how they climbed. Miss Howard taps her notebook. Already started? They look at me. I nod, swallow. And how we held together, I add. Fear's loud, we need louder hope. A civilian coordinator posts fresh bulletins on a corkboard. Confirmed safe zones. Fort Bryer, Lakeview Dam, Ridge Tunnel Complex. Radio frequencies. 137.9 FM civilian, 45.5 MHz emergency services. Standing order. Do not open gates for unfamiliar vehicles without visual bite check and 30-second silent window. The last line hits me, an institutional echo of the first alert. Do not answer the door, scaled to fortress size. I'm assigned Cot B-17 in Hangar 2. Canvas stretchers line the space like quiet rows of punctuation, each sleeper a sentence fragment waiting to become story again. I drop my pack, sit, exhale. A PA crackle announces afternoon briefings. Evac plans, supply sorties, research updates. My pulse quickens, not dread this time, but purpose. We can map, fortify, maybe even push back. I pull out my phone, battery dead long ago, but its cracked screen still holds the emergency banner frozen at 9:03 p.m. I could discard it, yet I tuck it in my pocket. A reminder of the moment life split into before and after. Outside, distant gunfire pops, training drills, not battle. Inside, cots squeak as people settle into uneasy naps. I lie back, staring at rafters where sunlight filters through high windows, dust motes dancing like survivors with nowhere to land. I don't know what night will bring. Maybe another evacuation. Maybe the first step toward reclaiming streets that were once just addresses on a map. But I know this. When the knocking starts, whether on a house door, a gate, or the walls of my mind, I will listen, assess, and protect. I will remember Maple Lane, the school barricade, the soldier's sacrifice mid-air, and I will keep the rule that carried me here carved into marrow. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe. Your support keeps these creepypastas coming. Until next time, stay alert, stay safe, and never ignore the feeling that something is watching.